I mean, Batman Forever, as I said, I remember watching it at the cinema and I remembered enjoying it. I think it perhaps worked for my young teenage audience. What do you think does work? What do you think doesn't work? I mean, the problem looking at it now is that it is trying to be a bit more camp and a bit more comic, like the Batman sort of TV series starring Adam West in the subsequent film, but also there are slightly dark undertones with about him becoming Batman and the dreams of seeing a bat, and there's the dream doll that Nicole Kidman's character gives to Bruce Wayne, and those sort of elements, and also quite a dark opening with Robin's family, the character that would later become Dick Grayson, who would later become Robin, all being killed by Two-Face. I mean, looking back at it now, what do you think is good about it, and what do you think doesn't really work?
Well, I think its biggest problem is it's very uneven, which is what you're saying. So I think we both arrive at that conclusion, and I think most people who've seen it probably have, to greater or lesser extent, that impression of Batman Forever. I think it's seen as a bit of a footnote to superhero films and probably the Batman films to date, most certainly. I think it does have energy, though. I do think there's a really... I mean, Tim Burton really went for the gothic prior to Schumacher taking over, and I think some of that is retained, certainly an urban darkness, maybe kind of a neo-noir sort of feel. But I mean, that Schumacher's most pronounced asset as a director for me is his energy, and I think you do feel that in quite a lot of the parts of the film. But it is trying to be a bit too campy and silly, and it's sort of trying to go for that feel of the original Adam West TV series, and also a bit of Burton's Batman, a little bit of the comics, and that was probably an inadvisable move looking back, because I just think the two don't seem to really work together. But having discussed how Schumacher very much likes to work with humour and drama in one breath, I think it's understandable why the studios would have picked Schumacher to take that approach with the Batman films. But maybe it was understandable they wanted to go that way as well, because Batman Returns admittedly does turn on the gruesome a little too much, and it was almost unpleasant to watch in parts, as much as I like the film, and I think it has tremendous qualities. I think a different approach might have been needed that time, just thinking objectively. And I do actually quite like Val Kilmer as Batman. I think he does a good job, but Carey as the Riddler... I really wanted that. I thought that would be perfect casting, and it didn't quite work as it should, maybe. And Tommy Lee Jones, who was so wonderful in The Client, and we know is a great actor. I really didn't like him as Two-Face. He clearly wasn't, I think, that invested, and he hammed it up mercilessly, which isn't his strength. I think when he's more restrained, that's when you really get the strength of his acting. Nicole Kidman, who such a terrific career she's had in such incredible roles she's played, she's just wasted as this sort of secondary love interest almost. And there is really nice set design, and it does combine different artistic tones, but I think, as I say, I think the film's just too uneven overall.
It was trying to tread a fine line, trying to have the best of both worlds, and it wasn't a total flop. But I think in the light of, it's definitely seen as one of the weaker Batman films. But